You may want to check your Samsung because the biggest update is here. With AI editing, instant slow-mo, live translating, new customization, and a ton more extra features, whip out your phone because I'm about to show you everything new with One UI 6.1. So before you try anything, of course, make sure you've downloaded the new One UI 6.1 update. And one of the first things you have got to try is if you head into your gallery and then hold down on one of your pictures, it'll actually cut and crop out part of that image. But what's so cool is, check this out, if I swipe to another image and let go, it'll actually copy from one image to another. Then you can just click save and no one will ever know. This also works if you press and hold down, then tap this little copy button, then go to the other image, tap again and hit that little paste button, and boom. Just like that, you can now copy and paste media pretty much anywhere. But what's really mind-bending is if you have the same Samsung account on multiple devices, you can copy that image, or in fact anything, and then paste that on any of your other devices. It's actually crazy just how quickly it can copy anything from the one device to the other. Also with 6.1, if you want to share an image, you'll now notice this little icon. And if you tap that, Galaxy AI will remaster and tweak your image, where you can actually see the before and after, and in some cases you can even correct the tilt, basically making sure your image is perfect before you send it. Sweet! All that's pretty fun, but wait till you see what you can do with your pictures on the lock screen. Alright, now this is where the real fun kicks in, because now let's say if you headed through your gallery and you find a nice picture, if you tap on these three little dots and then set this image as your lock screen wallpaper, you'll now see this effects button where you can add some really creative and artistic effects to your lock screen wallpaper. And this seems to work best if you have a person or an animal on your lock screen, because it only seems to affect the background, but it does get even better. Because another cool thing you can do is actually add frames. And this is honestly a really cool way to make your lock screen pics even more special, because you can actually enlarge the person or animal out of the frame to give it some really cool dimension, and then you can still go ahead and choose some color. You can choose to erase the background and have this kind of two-tone effect, or just go with the original background and choose a completely solid color. I like to choose something similar to the original image because it just makes it look so good and really adds up to one sick looking lock screen. But that is only the background, because you can now also add widgets. So once you tap on it, you'll see a bunch of different options that you can choose from. So you can add like a battery widget. I really like within weather, they have this moon phase widget, and even reminders, which you can also move to any other position you want, and it'll all stay neatly tucked away underneath your lock screen clock. And one of the other cool things you can customize that you may have noticed is actually the clock itself. So you can use some of these default fonts, of course, but if you click on these three little dots, you can actually download any font you want from the Samsung store. Some are free, some are paid for, but as you can see, it really does just finish off the whole look. And so with all the other effects, frames, and widgets combined, safe to say, you'll never get bored of your lock screen. But now that your phone looks super snazzy, let me show you some of the new power under the hood. So with all the information nowadays, your Samsung can pretty much summarize anything. Like, let's say you're busy browsing the internet and come across a web page, but you don't want to spend all your time reading it. Well, this little Galaxy AI icon right over here lets you summarize this entire web page, and it all happens in just a few seconds, which is so neat. Not only that, but now in your Notes application, let's say you have some documents or a PDF, well, now you can do the same thing in here just by using the AI icon, tap on Summarize, and bam, in a couple of seconds, it summarized the entire document in one step. But what about if it isn't text, but actually something else, like a voice note? Well, just like the S24 Ultra, now you can transcribe the entire voice note into text, and you guessed it, you can then go and summarize that text too. That's so convenient. But still, that's only scratching the surface of this new update. Now this is such a cool feature, because let's say you see something you may want to buy or just want more info on. If you open up the camera and point at it, then hold on the home button and now circle the thing you want to know more about, bam, it searches Google and shows you all the results instantly. This works literally everywhere on your phone, so whether it's text, images, or video, or maybe you're even shopping for a very, very specific wallpaper, you can just use this to find that very specific wallpaper for your phone. But there's even better AI on the keyboard. So if you're typing out a message, you will actually see the little AI icon, and if you tap on that, you can actually choose from different writing styles. So if you want to make it sound more casual, more formal, or my personal favorite, there's even Emojify. But if you want to get really creative, in your wallpaper and style section, you'll now see this option to actually generate your own wallpapers. So as you scroll down, you can choose from quite a couple of different prompts, like this one, translucent, and then just select what it is you want to generate, like the aster flower and maybe in the color cyan. Then hit generate and hopefully you get a really cool looking wallpaper. There's a bunch of different styles you can try out that might suit you, but honestly, the results ain't too shabby. But now let me show you something really special with One UI 6.1. Okay, now let's say you're busy chatting to someone in any chat application, but in a different language. Well, in your keyboard, again, if you just tap the AI icon, but this time hit Chat Translate, what this will do is automatically translate the text into whatever language you decide. And to reply, just type out your message and instantly it'll translate it for you so that the other person can understand what you're saying. But let's say you get a phone call from an international number like Japan, you can actually use this Call Assist button, then select Live Translate, and theoretically you can have a full-blown conversation with anyone around the world in any different language. It may not get it 100% accurate every time, but you'll get the message. And if you happen to be talking to someone in person, if you swipe down on the quick settings panel, you'll now actually see this little interpreter icon, which can come in really handy because straight away you can actually choose the other person's language and then mirror the chat box towards them. And if you hit the microphone icon, you can just chat away with the other person, have a conversation, and this live interpreter will literally act like a live interpreter.
Fantastico.
Fantastic.
But enough about AI translating. What about AI editing? Now, this is just one of the coolest things you can do on a phone right now. In your gallery, if you tap to edit a picture, with the 6.1 update, you now have access to Galaxy AI for images. So now what you can do is select pretty much any object in the picture, then tap and hold down to erase it, and keep in mind that the AI will take care of that later. So if it's a gloomy day or you're just not feeling the sky, you can completely erase that too, or even tilt and shift it just to be a bit more level. You can also select objects and instead of erase them, resize them or reposition them in the image. And once you're done with all your tweaks, you just hit this generate button and in a few seconds, bam! Galaxy AI creatively fills in all those gaps and creates a fairly unique image every time. It may not be perfect just yet, but can you imagine what it might be like in a year from now? It's crazy just how fast this all happens now, but what if we wanted to take it slow? So you've probably seen this on my S24 video, but if you bring up any video in your gallery and tap down with your thumb, it'll instantly turn it into a slow-mo video, and it just looks so cool every time. Only problem is, I don't think this works with any 10-bit videos, but let me know if that's your experience too. But you can find even more slow-mo controls if you try and edit a video inside the gallery, because right over here, you'll now see some different speed control options. So let's say I wanted to half the speed in a certain section, just move the bars for whatever section you want, or divide it and have two separate sections where the video slows down. Then just click save and now you have a custom slow motion video. So cool. Okay, now here are my top 4 most useful quick tips. If you ever want to share more than one pic at a time, one thing I bet you didn't know is if you select all the images and then just drag, now you can instantly share all those images just by opening up another app and dropping them in. I mean, this is really nifty. And this one's also really useful because let's say you're busy getting a spam call. If you answer it with the text to call button, you can actually speak to the other person just by typing out a text and the voice will read it.
Thanks, let me claim that before it disappears.
But what's extra cool about this is within the text call settings, you can add your own voice and actually make it sound like you. All you have to do to train the voice is read out 10 different random sentences, then wait for it to process, and in a couple of minutes you got your own personal voice that doesn't sound too bad.
This is what it sounds like when you use text call.
But let's say you actually get a spam call, there's a new option to actually make a tag for that contact. So instead of saving that contact, you can actually just tag it like bank spam caller and see that in your recents, but without having to save it to your contacts. But probably the most useful out of them all is now if you create an alarm and scroll all the way to the bottom, you can add a custom alarm background. And what's even better is it doesn't have to be an image, it can even be a video, and if you tap on the clock, you can even choose from 3 different clock styles. So this is really nice to customize each of your different daily alarms, whether it's for workouts, taking medication, or waking up. You can easily tell what alarm it is just by looking at the background. And by the way, if you're wondering where you can get this slick animated background, then check out my website haylsworld.com, or I'll have a link down below. So bam! Now you have it. Some sweet gallery tricks, the coolest lock screens in the world, summarize anything, AI editing, translating any language straight away, and a stack of other features I showed you guys. So make sure you sub if you want to see some more, but I'll see you in the next one. Toodles!